telling us exactly what we're getting into by watching this show. If you expect anything less than trouble, that's your own fault.
Mothers of River City, heed that warning before it's too late. Watch for the telltale signs of corruption.
Apparently, the showrunners wanted to write their own musical for this scene, but they didn't have the budget, and I'm so glad they didn't because they can take scenes like this from The Music Man and twist them for later on. I mean, mothers heed that warning before it's too late. Watch for the telltale signs of corruption. We're 20 seconds in and there's already setup of how Pennywise targets kids, so this rings as a sort of warning to the mothers of Derry. The way this comes back at the end of this episode too, I'm gonna have trouble shutting up about this one. Yeah, I was also confused about why the 12-year-old is wearing a pacifier, and the implications made me realize that I should be confused. No 12-year-old should be doing this, but the trauma he's visibly faced with that faded black eye, it turns this quirk from confusing to just sad.
Get in before you catch your death of cold.
It's crazy how convincing its illusions are to begin with. You wouldn't suspect anything if you didn't know you were watching a horror series. Is this an acting win for Pennywise? I think it is.
The resulting radiation poses a global risk, ranging from cancer to genetic mutations.
Taking advantage of the eeriness during this season's Cold War era to add another layer of fear, especially with it being 1962, where it was one of the moments where tensions were highest.
This stuff gives me the willies. W-I-L.
Ray is going through a phase. He spells everything.
L-I-E-S.
That's right.
He's finishing spelling the word willies, but also happens to emphasize the word lies since he was interrupted, foreshadowing that this whole scene is a lie.
T-R-O-U-B-L-E, you idiot!
Music Man reference yet again. Pennywise definitely has dramatic flair and a knack for callbacks. You gotta commend that.
Am nice when I want to be.
There goes my little harlot. Couldn't glue those legs together if you tried, I tell ya.
I thought you said we were heading to Portland.
I love the way this scene's built up too, like a dance between tones where one thing gets weird and another thing gets scary. The flirting and particularly weird comment for a mother to say, then the Derry sign shows up and he realizes they're not leaving, and then it just ramps up worse and worse until, you know.
Don't eat your family, sweetheart.
I love jump scares when they built up right. And the mutant baby getting mad at Maddie for doing a baby thing. How poetic. Ooh, that's a title card. And Benjamin Wallfish coming back to score this show like he did the movies. It's insane that we have so much crew from the original movies too. It shows that those days where TV was like a lower quality little brother to movies is over. I remember watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and the crew, budget, and everything was obviously no match for the budget of an Avengers movie, or the budget of the show Dragon's Race to the Edge versus the mainline How to Train Your Dragon movies. The disconnect is mostly gone now and it's crazy to see.
I'm a bit of an optimist.
Love how you see this completely change by the time we see him in the 2017 film, and I'm curious what changes him by the end of the season that makes him that way.
Well, if normal is what you're after, you two are going to love Derry.
It's always got to be the normal towns, doesn't it? Wow, nothing quite like a prank that's basically saying, here's a reminder of how your dad brutally died, you freak. I mean, what were the 60s kids on?
What? What are you looking at? My eyes?
Sorry, I had to do it. But the foreshadowing to episode 4 is, I hated that moment.
You have to promise me because I'm not going through the rest of the year looking like some bug-eyed freak.
Oh, Marge. Bug-eyed? I never realized that they hinted at it this hard.
Big fat cargo masters. Why? What are they carrying? Think about it.
Jack Malloy Legault is so charismatic, and it makes losing him hit even harder.
I am your superior commissioned officer, so I expect to be accorded the respect of said rank. Do I make myself clear?
Leroy living up to his fearlessness, and the fact that it's one of the keys to It Chapter 1 is actually one of the coolest full circle moments ever.
I was just thinking that, like, I know you're a story guy, but when it comes to Earth, it could just be like killing people.
They just had to show us that these poor kids had dreams of being comic book writers and artists someday. I hate how well it's all built up.
His mom offered us that candy fair and square.
We didn't even know it was his birthday.
Whatever happened to Maddie, it wasn't because we forgot his stupid birthday, okay?
It's clear that this is one of Pennywise's favorite things to do. Start with one kid that did nothing wrong, an innocent kid who's just treated like crap, and take them first. Then he wants the people who wronged said kid, like Teddy and Phil, to feel the guilt for that. But instead of killing the guilty right then and there, since that would kind of seem like karma coming back around, he waits for them to realize what they did wrong. He waits for them to choose to redeem themselves, but right before they can actually do that, he takes them too. It's a sick tragedy that he loves to put in motion every time. The symbol that faces towards us is the turtle, as a little reference to the book, but I don't think it protects her like we think it does for a reason I'll get into during that scene.
He won't let me!
Nope, flying mangled mutant babies? Fine, whatever. But fingers through shower drains? Hell no.
I can't believe you gave her your soda.
From a quote-unquote kid drink to an adult drink.
He used to always say there's nothing wrong with this country that can't be fixed, but what's right with this country. I am to prove him right, sir.
Some much needed optimism. Clayface, excited to see that movie when it comes out, and this is when I remember that Andy Muschietti also directed a DC horror movie, The Flash. I'm kidding, it was a DC movie that I actually think was not overhated, but I definitely think it was hated for all of the wrong reasons. Ooh, the twisting of what scares you, where it's usually darkness and shadows, but this time it's light that you're afraid of.
Can't believe we're related.
I can't believe it either. This is Stanley Uris's dad. It's only fitting that Stanley's Uncle Teddy was taken by Pennywise. This point on, they really had us thinking this would be our gang, the official Not Losers Club. It shows you how well-paced this episode was, kind of like a movie, and the theater scene would have just been the first scare, not the one that literally takes out this entire club minus Lily.
They presumed homicide.
That means murder.
Word definition lessons.
Do you know how many times the police came round about that boy? Trying to fix it on my pops? Did your newspaper article mention anything about that?
Also showing the importance of framing. With this scene, it kind of seems like Ronnie's this side character we'll never see again, and knowing now that she's one of the main kids is just so cool.
I'd understand you better if you took off that mask.
The specs, now.
It's classified.
Balls of steel, but of course we'll realize later that that was the point. Cluing us into the importance of that gun. Ooh, the whole sound design of the scene stopping with that look at Halloran and then continuing afterwards. Also, it's so cool that so many of the suspenseful scenes have this heartbeat sound effect that gets us used to hearing it anytime there's tension, which pays off really well by the next episode.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
The awkwardness of the ending to this scene always kills me. They see one other guy show up, and even though they outnumber Leroy and Polly, they just walk away. Makes so much more sense when it's revealed that it was a test. I mean, these guys aren't paid for their acting or improv skills. Of course, they're not going to know what to do when some other guy shows up.
Gosh, isn't this breaking and entering? We didn't break anything. It's just entering.
It is also basically Ronnie's shop, so yeah, it's barely even entering. It's more like, entering, yeah.
Thinking about Maddie and what happened and what I could have done different. And
Maybe if we'd been there like we said we would at his birthday, maybe... It's nobody's fault, okay? We're here now. That's what matters. So just stop it, okay?
That just breaks your heart. And like I said, they chose to redeem themselves, which is why Pennywise chose now to attack.
Teddy? Yeah, we're gonna get you out! Teddy, come on, we're gonna get you out!
The only reason I'm in here. Because you lied.
There's that setup from the beginning coming back, where the little brother spells the word lies. Chills. Jeez, and something as innocent as a little sister holding on to her big brother makes you think they both wouldn't be so cruelly killed off, but if there's any word to describe Pennywise, cruel is by far the most fitting. This is the moment my heart dropped. It's the moment that proves absolutely that no one is safe, and especially not Teddy, that this mutant baby seems to hate way more than the others. He's the first to get attacked, then he's dragged across the floor, up into the air, his insides get torn apart, and then he's thrown into the window in front of Ronnie? Back to this whole thing, I think the reason Pennywise lets her live at the end of this episode isn't because of the turtle. I have a feeling it's because she was the only kid who really cared about Maddie when he was alive, and she's already riddled with guilt from her father's death. And then he kills Phil and Ted to scare her even more, getting her even more ready for him to prey on her. Pennywise gambles with her life in a way, the way he always does, even the way he did with the Losers Club. The reason he lost to them is because he did what he does to Lily here. He keeps scaring them, hoping to get them as scared as they can possibly be and pushing that boundary, but he chooses not to kill them yet because what if they could be scared more? What if they could taste better? He doesn't seem to think they could ever harm him, and his overconfidence, the way that he gambles on each attempt to scare them, is what leads to his downfall. So that's why I think he just wants to play with Lily's fear and see how far he can push it. We'll see how well this statement ages when we get to the finale though. For any OGs, this is a classic one, but revisiting the same moment from a different perspective is, yeah, it's always a win. And it's a first-person POV from the only survivor, bonus win. Yes, getting a full opening this time, and I love the implications that it has, with the fact that this episode only released 4 days after the first one on Halloween itself and wasn't given the full week, plus the fact that we get the intro for the first time with this episode. It kind of suggests that the first episode was something of a fake-out pilot. The episode was even called The Pilot instead of Pilot like most TV shows' first episode is titled, which means it probably was referring to the literal Air Force pilot Leroy Hanlon. It doesn't deem the first episode as pointless though, which makes it even greater as a first episode all around. This intro is so eerie and perfectly captures the character of Derry as a town, always painting over its tragedies and pretending that everything's okay. No matter how bad it gets, Derry will always pretend.
The
And these lyrics prove that more than anything.
Little Philly Mulkin went to school with my boy. Show some respect. Maybe hate him.
And then he proceeds to disrespect him anyway. Shows how desensitized these cops are to the terrible stuff that happens here.
None of this is her fault.
It's your fault.
Yep, it is his fault, considering what's revealed later about where he actually was last night.
Ronnie, don't play with me now. I know you're there.
Yeah, you always gotta watch out for casting a shadow on the wall. It's a rookie mistake.
Oh, let me see the grip. Yeah, that's the best you got.
That you can handle.
Oh, it's like that.
Gotta give Leroy a win here. I know he hasn't been around his kid much because he's in the military, but the way they seem just as close is so sweet. And it's up to Leroy to build that kind of relationship with his son.
You know I've been waiting on this porch for you for 2 hours. 2 hours, yeah.
Well, we kept it well below the speed limit.
Because they didn't want to give a cop any reason to pull them over. The way they're so casual about it is the worst part. This is just how it was back then, and while it might be a bit better now, I can't pretend like it's changed that much. Here's a win for them staying strong. On a lighter note, their chemistry is off the charts, and you get why they're together even though they're so different. One of their commonalities is how strong-willed they are, which makes them a great set of parents to raise a well-rounded, strong-willed kid, but it's also why they butt heads so much.
Oh, to cut me a deal.
It's the exact kind I wanted. How did you know?
You think your old man doesn't know his own kid?
Trying to be there for your kid.
Maybe we could use this to spy on the neighbors.
I don't think we should do that.
Yeah, probably not.
You can see why he'd say something like that, though. He forgot his kid's in middle school and not a little kid who loves the idea of getting up to no good.
You know, Charlotte's not going to bed without Charlotte's hair.
I was wondering where I'd seen Taylor Page before, and it was Kendrick Lamar's We Cry Together. Here's a win for the casting directors, because Taylor Page is definitely a win.
I do not like being apart.
Part of what?
Love. Marge is trying so hard, and I won't lie, it successfully makes her super annoying before you see it as super sad, which I think was intentional.
Phil and Teddy are dead. Phil's sister's dead. Who cares about your stupid patty cake?
For real, it's been 3 minutes, and watching the patty cakes be so aggressively fake is already exhausting.
I suppose I do really stick out around here.
Gosh, I didn't mean it that way. It's just been here a lot of years. You see the same faces day in, day out. It's nice to have a little bit of variety. Stan Kirsch.
Aw, he's actually being nice to... Is this gonna come back later?
You leave that boy alone, you hear me?
There's that heartbeat again.
After Shreveport, I think the last thing that you need to get is involved.
Can you guys stop fighting?
We're not fighting.
We're talking. That's just how we talk.
See, they're perfectly imperfect. And here's the payoff. The heartbeat comes alive in the worst way possible. A thing I love about Wallfish's score is that it's just a standard Hollywood sound until the horror starts, and then he just loses his mind with the sound design, and it's such a treat to hear every time.
And you killed me. Like you killed those kids. Like you're gonna kill your father.
Tanika Davis gets so little screen time and kills it the only time she's there. Side note, I was trying to search up the name of Hank's wife, and the Google AI summary told me that Ronnie was his wife, so that'll treat you to trust Gemini.
And your
Goosebumps, oh my god. Might actually be the worst scare so far. The theater scene had shock value, but the monster Ida Grogan turns into is nightmare fuel to the highest degree.
Got myself some special privileges.
My ass. Guy named Halloran? That's right. Yes, sir. You're clear. Oh, straight to quarters.
Nothing quite like watching a racist idiot be put in his place. Yeah, pretty accurate for school cafeteria food. I'm kidding, it's meh, but it's not actually that bad usually. Ah, the mean girl's getting a little insecure about her place as leader. I'm enjoying the dynamics a lot more now.
Weren't you wearing that sweater yesterday?
Patty hasn't learned about laundry. Yes, I phrase that like a sin because sinning Patty is a win. I hate her guts.
You don't tell them that you're soon. They're gonna decide what happened that night.
Ooh, the patty cakes rhythmically scoring this conversation where both sides are trying to look out for themselves and do what they can. The way Rich sees the light shining in her eyes, as in a light that shows how oh so pretty her eyes are to him, but to us it reminds us of Pennywise's yellow eyes, kind of hinting that Pennywise has got his eyes on Rich. Could also be a reference to her eye being a major thing she'll lose, but whatever it is, you gotta love a guy that falls this hard. Being totally unfazed and keeping your eye on the ball. His reaction time was almost win removal worthy until he ran into this teacher again, and making her fall over is a win. This show is making me a little violent, isn't it? I feel like the wins are just getting mean now.
For a return customer.
Oh,
Feel free to look around.
thank you so much.
It's a clever move to make this lingering look try to scare us, since we're used to seeing similar looks from all the racist Derry citizens, but she looks at Charlotte for a different reason that's foreshadowed later.
Why are you here?
Cussing.
Were you wrongfully accused too?
No, I'm guilty as hell.
Ah, the boy's got a crush. Look at that smile. I'm so glad he's able to make it through this season, because watching him die would have been way too much.
It's the same exact stuff that makes up the clouds around Jupiter and Venus. So, yeah, maybe I smell bad. Or maybe I'm just covered in stardust.
Oh my god, this kid is so cute. Protect Will Hanlon at all costs. And while we're at it, Blake Cameron James himself.
I've spent enough time in combat to know a brave man when I see one. A man without fear.
You know who else is a man without fear? Yeah, I had to reference it, but it does kind of make sense why Francis did this, as unethical as it was, and there's something comforting about knowing that someone in the literal US military is aware of Pennywise and will do whatever they can to do something about it. Obviously, it doesn't help by the time we get to the Losers Club in '89, but getting to see what could have been is already pretty interesting. Muschietti just gets how to build a scare so well, making it look like mundane things that are meant to scare you, but in reality it's just a guy cutting up fish, and then twisting it so you realize the mundane things actually should scare you when something is about to happen. The out of focus thing is nothing new for the It series, but damn does it get you every time. Works just as well as it did with Ben in the library. These actors are killing it too, props to them. Seems like a subtle way to make you remember the pregnant lady from the first episode, so kinda callbacks? I'm struggling to find out who this actor is, but he's the MVP of this scene by far. Ooh, the clown on the cereal box below Phil and Teddy. It's so subtle, but it's so good. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but I think this might be the first time any of the characters see the name Pennywise, which is a huge deal that they don't really linger on. Makes sense because Lily's probably less focused on the name and more on the fact that 3 dead kids that she knew are on a cereal box.
Got a kiss for Daddy.
Classic Pennywise. Ruining her father's memory isn't enough, he's got to fully pervert it too. Shout out to the cleanup crew, they used real pickles on this set.
The hell's wrong with you?
With this and Marge's moment in episode 4, I'm convinced Pennywise doesn't even want to eat Lily, he just wants to see her finish the job herself.
This weapon, it generates debilitating fear in anyone who comes near it. In theory, it could scare a man badly enough to kill him where he stands.
If that isn't the biggest difference between a kid's experience with Pennywise versus an adult's experience. One just wants to avoid him at all costs, and the other wants to utilize him in a war against Russia. Come on now, the creepy smile is necessary. Juniper Hill is already eerie as it is. Ooh, 1908. Very exciting considering season 3 is going to take place that year, so I'm excited to see how this comes back around when we get to that season.
Step right into a grotesquerie of horrors beyond your darkest imaginings.
The most fun thing about a haunted house is when a person inviting people in singles you out. Andy Muschietti cameo. Here's where it's clear Pennywise is at work. All of the sensational horrors of the circus turning into straight up terrifying horrors.
Come closer.
Francis has no survival instincts here, and he still doesn't 54 years later, so here's a win for character consistency.
That a slingshot?
Aw, I wanted to say young love and get happy about how sweet they are until I realized I'm watching something titled It, and in anything named It, the sweetest kids are destined to die.
What do you want?
Jesus, you know what? I get it. If something scared me that bad, I would want to kill it. That's the fun part about the fear aspect of Pennywise. Once you figure it out and start to control your fear, it turns into anger. And Francis Shaw is sort of an example of that, but he also wants to use a clown as a weapon against Russians, so who knows where his mind's at. Whoever designed all the monsters, kudos to them, because oh my god.
And if I tell the truth about what I really saw, then
You probably wind up right back here.
A great breath of fresh air to see someone who just believes Lily and is nice to her. So Ingrid's either dying or evil.
They only believe what they can see with their own eyes.
The primary idea around this episode that ends up adding even more hopelessness when you see that it does basically nothing by the next episode, Pennywise is just too powerful.
I was home.
Then why do I have an eyewitness puts you on Jackson Street at 11:30? Yeah, witness called it in, said she saw your picture in the paper, so we went out there, have a look around, and
It's sad when you find out what he's risking his life to lie about, and if you forget what time period you're in, you would think it's stupid, but not in the 60s.
do you know what they do to kitty killers in Shawshank?
Shawshank reference. Blake Tower, that's where I recognize Steven Ryder from. It's Daredevil. Not sure why I realized this now of all moments, but yeah, there's a fun fact.
This is America. You can't just throw people in jail for nothing. We talking about the same country?
Oh, Rich, you sweet, sweet child. Never change. I mean, he probably should. 60s America wasn't very kind to Cubans either, so it would be good for him to know that.
But that car had to give off something for Halloran to be able to find it.
It's part of the 1935 cycle.
They really know how to get us excited for future seasons in a really unique way, since the premise of going back in time every 27 years is already a pretty unique idea on its own. I can't wait to call season 3 the prequel season to the prequel season to the prequel season of a prequel show to It 2017.
She even wrote a song about me. Won't be long.
Why are you in the military? Why'd you join?
That looks so good in the uniform. Oh, not the hair, not the you touch that, you die.
If these two moments prove anything, it's that all of the actors and their characters have great chemistry, and I always gotta compliment that. Classic transition, and the most direct way to flex how good your casting directors are. Ooh, the water appearing, the subtle set change, all of it is just masterfully done.
Who are you?
And the first time we very clearly hear Pennywise's voice in the show. I love how sparing they are with him showing his actual clown form. I mean, they never really do in the first 4 episodes, but they don't need to. His scares and the way he toys with people shows us more about him than seeing him ever could, and it also keeps us more focused on the normal humans in the show, which help to make them not feel unimportant like a lot of horror media ends up doing.
It wasn't supposed to see us. It wasn't supposed to know.
My favorite moment, the line plus the theme that comes in, it perfectly captures that vibe of like the feeling that no place is safe. The whole episode's about people seeing it, but it feels like you can never have a private moment to plan something against it because it sees you too.
Can you just send it up to a lab?
I get that they're discussing important stuff, but I just noticed Rich's milkshake stash and I gotta win it.
When she asked me, it's like my mind just went blank.
Love will do that to you.
Yeah. Wait, what?
Ronnie, you're sweet on her. I know the signs.
There are no signs.
Sure there are.
I hate how much I love these kids. Like, I genuinely get angry at myself because I'm like, no, it's gonna hurt when everyone except Will inevitably dies. Stop it.
Promise me you'll never forget me, us being friends.
You don't notice it, but this place has a way of making people forget.
Probably why it seems like she isn't visibly crushing as hard as Francis is. She knows he's gonna forget about her, so she doesn't let herself get too attached, which is an interesting angle to the whole Derry making people forget thing. Keeping your friend from getting himself killed.
The major is worried my activism will reflect poorly on him with his colleagues.
I can see how that could be a concern, man.
Halloran making sure to stay on both of their good sides. Well played.
Should we start? Yeah, sure. Why not?
He's such a bad liar. I like that it sets up the fact that he has no idea what he's really doing. I can imagine him saying, yeah, just do a big circle of candles and then a little one and then we should be good.
I never told you we had a son.
Must have heard it from someone on base.
Kind of a go-to excuse for Halloran like we see in The Shining, so it makes sense that he doesn't say something more convincing like saying he saw a family photo in their living room or something like that.
Can't describe it really, other than it's the strangest goddamn thing I've ever felt in my whole life. And I've only felt it one other time.
The night I was attacked.
You were there.
And yet again, there's the idea of someone else being able to feel when Halloran shines, but in a way that shows Leroy's strength instead of trying to scare you like Pennywise would.
I would love some mud cake.
Reminding me about mud cake. Now I really want one.
Oh, sorry.
Real smooth, Will. He's not slick, definitely not, but that was smooth.
You okay?
A little jarring at first, but this crazy looking CGI bike ride kind of hints that we're going into Pennywise's reality and not the real world. It's proven even more when we cut back to Will and Rich riding their bikes and they're both shot normally. Nope, terrible, but great way to set up the scene. This whole thing with them passing the camera off to each other is so cool. Other than just shaking it up and giving them more to do than just be scared, it also shows how well they work together as a team. You can see how Will halfway inherited his dad's analytical brain and how his fear response is a little less prevalent. Obviously, he's not completely without fear like his dad, but it's an interesting juxtaposition seeing him walk towards the monsters versus his friends frantically biking away. Also kind of shows how he's curious about what he's seeing and wants to learn more about it, like he wants to learn more about everything else.
It's a clown.
And the way that stinger and cut to black almost doesn't let him finish his sentence, kind of mirroring how Pennywise is quick to silence the truth when he can. Classic Derry shot.
Jesus H. Christ.
The hell is that? Oh. Is this pigeon shit?
It sucks because you can see he's not just toying with them, he actually seems fed up with all this, and it's kind of disheartening to us and the kids the same amount.
My father always said to me that with good friends at your side, anything's possible.
I don't like this push-in. I know I said she's evil or dying, but I'm leaning towards evil now.
Derry is a beautiful place, but things do happen from time to time. Never a bad idea to keep the people you love close.
Kimberly Guerrero's killing it with the intensity in those words. I don't think I'm ready to actually see the infamous black spot fire.
It can smash in buildings and knock signboards over, but If you duck and cover...
Nothing quite like the false hope of a Bert the Turtle video.
What's going on, Will? And don't lie to me.
Somehow she's one of my biggest nopes this season. My mom yells at me like that ice spill.
I met up to try to figure out how to help her when...
What happened?
Someone came after us. We were scared. We ran, but Ronnie had a camera and she was trying to get some pictures and...
Ugh, that's the worst part. The audience and the kids both forget that they're just middle school kids, and it's only once you start to tell someone that you realize what you went through.
So the girl is, she.
It sucks that they gotta make sure that, but I'm glad they're able to laugh about it and have this cute moment. Also foreshadowing what Hank Grogan's really hiding.
She's not my girlfriend.
Not yet. The year's young.
Ah, they're so cute. It seems like they'll get a lot closer before Will is inevitably burned alive the way we saw in the It movie, which is why Leroy's so just mean at that point.
I left the spares in the car.
What a smart kid. You can already see him getting scared because he knows he'll be alone for a second, which is all Pennywise needs to get to him. You know what? I'll take it. I honestly thought the fish would reveal its own Pennywise teeth and jump up and bite its face. So yeah, I'll definitely take this over that. Thank God Leroy knew what was actually going on. One of the best things is how I can feel somewhat safe when Leroy's involved in a scare scene.
Son, what happened?
Oh my God, I love this detail. Leroy does actually look worried and scared for his kid's sake, but then he sees the balloon and he's back to analyzing. Usually the part that would scare you is more the balloon, but not when it's your kid's life on the line.
Could have killed me way before my dad got to me. It can probably kill any one of us anytime it wants to. Unless, what if it's just trying to scare us?
I'm glad Will's the one to figure this out since, yeah, he's the smart one, but it also matches up with everything we've seen his future son, Mike, do. Even though Ben learned about the 27-year thing, Mike was the one that stayed in Derry after 1989 and learned everything he could about it.
In the great swirling apparatus of our planet's function.
Yelling the episode title at us.
My name's not Lady, it's Charlotte Hammond.
Excuse me?
No, I don't think I will.
Perfect response to a backhanded excuse me.
I was with a woman.
A married woman.
Not just married.
A white woman.
If anybody finds out, they'll just find the nearest tree. Not to mention what I was gonna do to her.
It's insane that this is anywhere close to being as incriminating as murdering 3 children, to the point where he'd rather go with that story than the truth, but I like that he's still concerned what the husband would do to her. He's still a good man like we've seen all season.
Because the cycle will be over soon, and the weapon gone to ground.
Maybe it's time to begin cleanup, sir.
Interesting reversal of tension. For the kids, they're anxious about it lurking, and they're trying to do what they can to get rid of it, while Francis is anxious that it'll go away soon, and he won't have another chance to finish what he started.
Come on, at least say hi. After everything you've been through this year, you deserve it.
Oh, that line, just... It's so hard not to be mad at her until the bathroom scene where she almost redeems herself, giving Lily hope that she can just be a girl that likes a boy and wants to do something normal and act like it's a reward for everything she's been through when Marge has no idea what she's been through. She just wants brownie points with people who don't matter. Pennywise is already putting Lily through the ringer. Marge doesn't need to pile on.
I need to tell you something. The truth is...
There it is again, Pennywise waiting for Marge to try to redeem herself and then attacking her. This whole scene makes me sick in the best way, and not just because of the body horror, but the way it ends, where it seems like Lily did it, knowing that she's gonna look crazy and something even worse might happen to her is honestly worse than the eyes.
Just trust me and don't stir the pot.
You won't have to worry about me.
That's a lie. We will have to worry about her, and that's why we love Charlotte. He grabs the robe. Priorities. It's cool that the tension in that rising sound only releases when he opens the door here, because it implies that the tension built through the entire night and morning until he came in here. Love that sign of him using his powers. The 3 fingers in the middle of his forehead to symbolize where his 3rd eye would be opening.
We lived in balance with the monster by staying outside of its reach.
Crazy to think it had a mutual understanding with, well, anyone.
The Galoo fed on them and grew stronger and more powerful, would soon be able to hunt outside of the Western Wood.
This aspect of his powers is awesome because it puts limits on Pennywise's little game that he plays. His power grows when he eats, but after they trap him in Derry, he can't just eat everyone or no one would want to live there and he'd go hungry for a very long time. So he has to pick his targets carefully and make everything look like it's an unfortunate accident, and while he's at it, he scares them as much as he can so the food that he eats is tastier.
It separated the war.
Another reason I love Benjamin Wallfish's score is that it doesn't change, and it probably never will change with the time period, showing that the monstrous power of Pennywise isn't held back by time in any way. It's always just as scary and grotesque.
A line the glue could not cross.
This is why I don't know how I'd feel about there ever being an It sequel. It feels fitting that its destiny is to quote-unquote die in Chapter 2 and forever be stuck within Derry, because even though he is this cosmic being, it proves that humanity triumphs over evil and fear.
How do I find him? You can tell me.
Whoa, not sure why he smiles like this, and for a second on my first watch I thought his eyes did the Pennywise thing, but no. I'm curious if this comes back later in the season though. This was one of the shows where the concept didn't grab me at first. I didn't see why we needed prequels to the movies that had their own full circle story, but after watching that pilot, everything changed, and now I'm anxiously waiting every weekend to see what's next. What did you guys think of the first half of It Welcome to Derry Season 1? That's a mouthful. Let me know in the comments. Thank you patrons and channel members for the support, and thanks to every one of you for watching. As always, you guys are an absolute win, and I'll see you soon.